Hello, my name is Lisa Wilcox and I'm here this evening on the video challenge to talk to you a little bit about wills and trusts. Typically people come and ask me, do they need to have a will? Well, a lot of times you don't necessarily need to have a will. What's important is whether or not you've titled the property or accounts or whatever assets in the correct manner so that they are payable on the death of the person, then rather than having to go through probate. So my first analysis is to check and see how have you titled your accounts, how is your home titled, those types of things. Have you recently been through a divorce and remarried and have children? Those are issues then you might want to take into consideration of having a will. The benefit of a will is that you can decide which of your assets go to which individuals, and you can change as far as personal property goes. If you decide that you don't want somebody to have something that day, you can change it and change it back in a codicil, which is an attachment to your will. So it's fairly simple. They usually don't cost too much, typically anywhere between a couple $100 to $400 for a will. And they're beneficial to the extent that you get to decide who's going to be getting which of your assets. Now, if you're married, typically what will happen is if you don't have a will, everything will go to your spouse. And that's usually a pretty simple process. And if it's your second spouse and you have stepchildren, you definitely want to keep in mind the fact that you do want to then consider having a will so that they have the right of inheritance should you desire them to. When is it beneficial to have a trust? The trust becomes beneficial when you have minor children. If something, say, were to happen to both you and your spouse and your minor children were left, then you'd want at least the opportunity to select who was going to be their guardian and who would be managing the property and assets, rather than leaving that up to the court. Setting up a guardianship is, well, not possible. It also is, again, money spent setting up the guardianship with a guardian who is maybe not the person that you would have selected to have your children. And you then have to, and then they have to pay annually. They have to do accountings and go in front of the court to show that they've done everything correctly. And it can be time consuming, and it can consume finances that may be better spent elsewhere for your children. So that's one instance. Another time that it's beneficial is if you have somebody that also has is special needs. We can set up special needs with inside the trust provisions to protect that person. So there are many benefits to having a living trust. Further, if something were to happen to you while you're alive and you're not able to make coherent decisions and you're not competent to make those decisions, then a trustee could step in that you've named in your trust and manage your accounts and whatever else was necessary until you got better, should it be the case that you were able to get better. So these are some items that you might want to consider when you're looking at whether or not you need estate planning. If you have any questions, I'm always happy to answer them. Thank you and have a great day.